Okay, we're back on now. I didn't mean to hit the button the first time, but now I got to refresh the screen, get everything going. Alright, there we go. Alright, hope everybody had a great Independence Day. Ada Violet is on here with me right now.
Hi.
We're going to be discussing this case out of England that just popped up. She sent me the article, and I was like, wow, even England has barbarians. But she's from there, so she can, maybe add a little bit more insight into it. And also, I appreciate everybody who checked in on my wife. She had the surgery on her teeth, had implants put in. And she's just finally starting to smile and eat. So that's good. So the case we're going to be discussing today is out of England, and there's a neonatal nurse who actually she was arrested for her part in the death of 17 babies. Now they don't know, she's just been arrested now. There hasn't been anything proven, how the law is. Allegedly she did this, right? But let's just kind of go over this article here. It says, a neonatal nurse was arrested on suspicion of murdering 8 babies and attempting to kill another 6. But if you later down in the article, it actually mentions 17. Or a different article I was reading. Did you read that one, Ada, where it says 17?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's weird why would the article start off with 8 and then later they say 17? Why don't they just start off with that? Like even right here, it's arrested on Tuesday. Police investigate her connection to 17 babies' deaths on the Countess of Chester Hospital during 2015 and 2016. So she was actually part of this movement to get more funding for a facility too, right? A natal. I always keep saying NATO, but a neonatal facility, right?
Yes.
Right.
Well, they have preemies and also other special care babies, vulnerable.
Right. And her name is Lucy Letby. She's 28 years old. If you read the headline up here, Daily Mail says she was actually a pole dancer too. I don't know where that part is. I'd have to see. I'm not saying, Daily Mail isn't always 100% accurate. I will say that. But they are, for the most part, accurate. They get pictures that other people don't have all the time, and I have caught them making mistakes though, so I can't vouch for that.
So she was a pole dancer too?
That's what it says right there. Yeah.
That might give a little insight into her personality.
Yeah. Let's see. Miss Letby's arrest is part of a year-long probe into the death of the babies and 15 non-fatal collapses. So these are babies that almost died and then they actually recovered. So had she succeeded, there'd be over 30. All right. On Wednesday, Liverpool Women's Hospital announced it was working with police in their investigation. Miss Letby completed a work placement at the hospital for extra training after graduating in 2011. In the neonatal nurse, if the neonatal nurse, let's just call her Letby, is convicted of murdering 8 babies, she would become Britain's most prolific child killer. Well, it's going to be 17, I think if there's 8 and they think there's 17, then almost all those other ones will be part of this as well. Yeah, so these are some pictures of her, right there looking kind of like she just looks like a totally normal person in that picture right there. You know what I mean? She doesn't have the look of a killer. Those are the scary kind. But in these pictures, she starts to look a little more, little rough. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the right word, but let's see.
A little edgy.
She had a clean record with the Nursing and Midwifery Council and was even the face of a campaign to raise £3 million for the unit. And by the way, Ada is at work right now. I'm just letting you know. So if the phone rings in the background, it wasn't because she didn't want to turn it down. Let's see. Although, you know, it's kind of a holiday for most people. Are most of you watching this right now off? The police spent Tuesday searching Miss Letby's £180,000 home, which is about a mile from the Countess of Chester Hospital. So if you're, you know, I don't know, I can't really give you a reference of anything, but you know, if I zoomed way out and let's see, like
My friend Alina is going to see if she can get an address for her.
Okay, let me make this bigger. So you know, there's the United States, and then you go way over here. Oh, I guess I actually have other cases over here. And what is this? The island of it's just Great. I mean, what island is this right here? I mean, I know
Great Britain.
Great Britain's got a whole bunch of different, you know,
It's on the main.
like England. Right?
Yes. I would say it's probably north,
Right.
northeast.
So right here, and then take a look at the. We'll do a street view here just to see what it looks like. Well, there it is. That's the hospital. Looks kind of nice. All right. So, what are some of the facts that you've already learned about?
Okay. I guess the hospital is the one that raised the alarm. And at that time, it was 8 deaths that raised their suspicion. And then when the authorities took over and investigated, that's how they got the 17 deaths.
Yeah, they're actually digging in her yard. How freaky is that? I mean, something must have led them to dig in her yard. Maybe they're wondering if she was pregnant at one time, lost their baby, and then, or did something to the baby and then killed it. And then, I mean, this is just total speculation, but, and that's why she's sort of, you know, because a lot of times when people do these types of things, there's some sort of event that happened to them that makes them like that. Like, my baby died, so I'm going to kill everybody else's so they can feel what I felt like. Why did I have to feel like that? Everybody else should feel like that too, kind of thing. Now that would be my my guess. But it looks like she's had a pretty clean record. Oh, there's the pole dancing, I guess. It looks like she's just goofing around, though. I don't know. She doesn't really... Let's see.
I mean, it looks like it could be, you know, with exercise classes, they do those.
Newly unearthed photos shows Miss Letby letting loose on nights out. Okay, posing on a stripper... Okay, that's, you know... So that doesn't mean she's a pole dancer, okay? See, that's what I mean. There's where Daily Mail sort of takes a little bit of creative license there, right? You know, like if Ada went out tomorrow night to a bar and then was like woohoo, and then spun around on a pole for a couple seconds and got some people took photos. I wouldn't say, oh God, Ada's a pole dancer. You know, that doesn't make you a pole dancer at that point.
Just a partier.
Yeah. Notice how they always... I bet this is part of a video, so they take the most maniacal shot that you could possibly find, too, right? And put it out there.
Exactly.
That's what they do in politics too, right? Like, you'll never see a Republican put out an ad with a great picture of Hillary Clinton, right? It's always like at this weird moment where she's like, ah, you know. And they do the same thing with Trump, you know. So it's just kind of what they do.
Yeah.
So in this case, you've got this really maniacal face here. And then over here, a little bit like that too, but sort of a laughter, like, how dare you be laughing about, you know. But it's just, I mean, I'm not, you know, I probably sound like I'm defending her, but I'm not really doing that. I'm just trying to point out that I'm sure that's not really the look she has in general. Okay?
Right.
Right. But what's weird is these pictures here look nothing. I don't even, if I saw this picture here and then saw this one, I wouldn't even know that was the same person. Like, I wouldn't even have a clue that that was the same person. Different color hair, everything. Well, maybe different, little, I don't know.
So everyone that knew her said that they're surprised, and
Yeah, isn't that kind of the common theme almost every time?
yeah.
Oh, they were so nice. I always say that with terrorists too, you know.
And no one ever says, I knew it.
Yeah, this is so utterly shocking. But with Lucy, all you will hear is positive things. It's kind of like a little bit like the Hart family, you know. Everyone thought, oh, they're so great, but behind the scenes they're torturing their kids. In this case, it's just somebody. I wonder how she killed these babies, though.
Yeah.
Did they mention anything? Like, what possible?
No, not yet.
Like this picture,
Usually-
she looks normal, right?
Yeah. You know, a lot of the times, if it's doctors or nurses that do this, it's usually elderly. Some weird thing that they do.
Yeah, a lot of people, when I've been reading these articles, they say that she was geeky. Yeah, like, it's kind of a weird term to describe a girl. But, you know, here's an example here. She was described as geeky and always wanted to do good by helping out with charitable causes. She was the face of a £2 million, but earlier it said $3 million, right? Appeal to build a new pediatric unit at the hospital in 2013. She wanted it to be more private too. So isn't that weird? I wonder if that was sort of her. Yes, I want it more private so I can get away with more. You know. Jordan Sands, who knew her through a former girlfriend, said she was quite awkward and geeky, but seemed like a kind-hearted person. Another friend, who asked not to be named, described her as an amazing person. A little bit like those hippies in the Hart case. Oh, she was such a great person, and like totally, you know. Detective Inspector Paul Hughes, who is in charge of investigation, described, and no, I'm not related to that person, okay? I know there'll be people, oh, did you hear that? Oh, look at that, the investigator. See, he's related to Gray, so he must be. Yeah. Detective Inspector Paul Hughes, who was in charge of the investigation, described Miss Letby's arrest as significant step forward. He revealed the scope of the probe had been widened since police took up the case, and they are now examining the case of 32 babies, 17 of whom had died. Wow. Oh, there you go. Look at these ones right here. Yeah. Of course you got that picture out there. Good stuff. Yes, Paul Hughes. Must be the investigator there, Justin. I'm reading a comment.
Paul Hughes or Paul?
Hughes is a Welsh name, I think. I think that's what I have some Welsh ancestry. Look at that picture they used for this one. And this one. Yeah.
I wonder if in England by geeky they mean awkward.
Yeah, well, they called her awkward too. So, all of it.
And maybe she's socially.
So this is her home right there. wonder if
I've been trying to
blocked
find.
out.
Oh, we might.
Detective Hughes described the case as, or DI. That's right. That's what you guys call him. What does that actually mean over there? Detective investigator. Inspector, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. It's on all those shows you get me to watch. I know that.
Exactly.
D.I. Hughes described the case as highly complex and very sensitive, adding, "We recognize that this investigation has a huge impact on all the families, staff, and patients at the hospital, as well as members of the public. Parents of all the babies are continuing to be kept fully updated and are being supported throughout the process by specially trained officers." Wow. I wonder if there's any other information in some of these. Yeah, I mean, she had taken care of all of them too.
Yeah.
And that must be the one common link is her, right? So that's why they have her.
Right. Probably was easy to pinpoint her.
Let's see.
I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay. All right. The whole time I was there, I can't fault them. They were busy. You couldn't have long conversations with them or anything, but I can't fault the treatment of myself or my son. Let's see. The 36-year-old finance worker said, there was a witness here. Let me go back up here. Kate Walker from Chester, whose baby had been cared for by Letby, said she had been rather shocked when she saw that the nurse had been arrested. Walker's son was born prematurely at 27 weeks in February 2013. He spent a month in neonatal unit at the Countess of Chester. The 36-year-old finance worker said, "We were in the neonatal for a month before we moved to Alder Hay, and it was actually Lucy who pushed for us to be transferred because he was still very ill and she didn't want him to be discharged. The whole time I was there, I can't fault them. They were busy. You couldn't have long conversations with them or anything, but I can't fault the treatment of myself or my son. Walker's son, who is now 5, was on a ventilator and needed round-the-clock care after the lungs collapsed and his heart rate dropped. I can't say anything negative about her," Walker said. "She supported me and she pushed for him to be transferred and only discharged when he was better." But that was in 2013, you see. So these murders happened later. So maybe something changed after that. And this one says, Lucy Letby, police dig in the garden of nurse arrested over deaths of babies at Cheshire Hospital. Or Cheshire Hospital. Police are digging in the back garden of the nurse arrested in connection with the deaths of babies at Countess of Chester Hospital. Officers carrying spades and rakes have been entering the Chester home of Lucy Letby. They have also been spotted using a stepladder to climb over Miss Letby's fence, seemingly to search in the woodland next to her property. It was not immediately clear what the police searching the property were looking for. So that's good. God, this could get real freaky here. Miss Letby, 28, is believed to have been arrested by detectives investigating the deaths of 17 babies and 15 non-fatal collapses at the hospital between March 2015 and July 2016. Her modern, semi-detached house, now the subject of police search that has so far lasted 2 days, is about a mile from the hospital where she spent the last 8 years working as a child nurse. wow, this is getting pretty crazy. But I really just kind of came on to do a live about this, and oh, look at there's Shetland Wife, a story from her neck of the woods. But if you guys can somehow get a hold of the address or something, maybe send me an email at, I'll put it in the chat here, Gray. It's also in the comments, GRAYHUZE1, or is it 2? Now I can't even remember what my own email is. Oh boy, I think it's Gray. It's in the description. All right. So send me an email if you can get the address.
It's kind of hard to get the address in England, but we will try.
Okay. So I'll probably do an update on this at some point, but this is just kind of like breaking news information. Do you have any more to add to it?
Well, I just did want to mention that there have been a couple of cases in England. Another nurse and a doctor. Have you heard of the doctor that killed like over 100 people? Harold Shipman.
Wasn't that a while ago?
Yeah. So just wanted to mention that. Kind of interesting. And another nurse, I seem to recall, but not related to this case. And we will look for the address, and I'm very curious what it is that they're looking for in the back.
Yeah, I'd like to look around.
And drains.
Yeah.
Like, is something missing from the hospital, or?
Yeah. But they must have found out something. I kind of think they're looking for. Well, they could be looking for whatever chemical she used, or maybe a baby of some sort that she perhaps buried. I mean, I think I'm just kind of my theory that I brought out earlier is something that sounds familiar that I've heard in other cases where a mother loses her child, and then she goes and steals other babies, or something like that. I mean, I don't know if it's some. She could just be an absolute, just a complete psychopath killer type.
Yeah.
But that's all she does. But I've also seen cases where like a traumatic event in these types of things caused them to become like that. But I don't know. This is this is weird.
They're like serial killers who just use that as a cover.
Right. They'll make something up. Oh yeah, I lost it. Yeah. It just seems odd, right? 28 years old, and that's such a young age to be doing that too. Like 28, a female. I mean, almost everything about this is against the norm, right? Like she's 28, a female, and a nurse, and then she's killing babies. That just.
Like, how long could she be doing? Could she be a nurse for at that age?
Yeah, I guess like 2013, she would have been pretty new, right? It looks like from the university. Oh, right here it says. It is understood that Miss Letby worked at the Countess of Chester after she graduated as a children's nurse from the University of Chester in 2011. So that's 7 years. So she was 21 when she started.
So she's specialized in children then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she does. But maybe something happened prior to that. You see, because maybe there was a reason she chose that industry. Maybe. It's going to be interesting to sort of figure out what was behind this, if we ever get to get the answer. But well, that's about all I really had to talk about today. I just wanted to sort of bring it out. I mean, you said that to me, and I thought, wow, that's crazy. So we can just kind of keep looking into it, and maybe I can make an actual video. Just about it, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting to do a live since I haven't been on as much lately because I've been taking care of my wife, getting everything for her, and she's here all the time, so it's hard to. She's taking a nap right now, so I was able to. But normally if she's at work, then I have the house to myself, and there's no clank. I mean, if you just look, this is me just dropping something on the ground. Watch. Like that's pretty
Oh,
loud,
gee.
right? I mean, so if you, yeah, if you just even nick something, it's loud. So, yeah, you almost have to. I have to take the collar off of my dog too, because even just that little jingling sound sounds like a sleigh in the Christmas. I mean, it just, it's really
Well, at least
loud.
your microphone is good, you know?
Yeah, it's almost too good to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All right. So I think
And I'm
that's
trying
about.
to talk, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I think that's about it for this live. I might come on later this evening, but thanks
Yeah.
for Ada coming on. I appreciate it.
I will keep digging into it.
Yeah. So maybe we can come on and do another one later, perhaps, with more information. Maybe not today, but on this one. But
Another day.
this is definitely one that'd be interesting to keep sort of following up on. And
So
it's
right
something.
now they.
Yeah,
Yep,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and it's something for the viewers over in the UK, or I guess it's just great. Well, now it's just England, all right. Heck, I don't even know what they call it over there now. But
UK, England, Great Britain.
well, they separated from. Oh yeah, the larger thing. Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
Roxanne. I turned off my my little notification bell for the super chats for this one, but thank you. All right, so that's it, everybody.
Okay.
And until next time, everybody, be safe out there.